The UK Home Office has recently made some changes as regards applying for the dependent visa here in the United Kingdom. One of the things is that the definition of a partner has been changed to include same-sex couple. So people who are, same-sex partners, they've also been included as part of the definition of a partner when it comes to applying for a dependent visa. And also the requirements to have met in person has also been removed. So you don't necessarily need to have met your partner in person before you can apply for your dependent visa. Also the requirements to provide evidence of financial support has also been reduced. Requirements to provide evidence of a shared life has been further clarified. And these are some of the updates made by the UK government. Those that made the application before this update have been getting emails from the UK Home Office to provide this evidence if they had not provided it in their previous application before this update is made. And also be sharing with you some of the important questions that have been asked so that before you start your dependent visa, you ensure that you have all these documents so you don't keep your application delayed. So if you think this is interesting, don't go anywhere, keep watching to the end. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Recently, there's been some changes that of the kind of documents or the information that one needs to provide if you're applying for a dependent visa into the United Kingdom. And for those who don't know, a dependent visa basically is a visa category for those who are planning to move into the UK with their partner who are currently on different visa categories such as student visa, skilled worker visa, and many more. And for those that have been following this channel or who have been up to date with information in relation to UK dependent visa, it's known that people who are currently or who are planning to come into the UK on a student visa for a master's program are no longer allowed to bring in a dependent. So basically the dependent visa is majorly for people who are coming into the UK for a research program, a PhD program to be precise, and also those who are on a skilled worker visa, global talent visa, and other visa categories, excluding the student visa for people coming for a master's program. So basically, recently we put out some application for people coming on a dependent visa, and we discovered that some changes has been made on the questions that you need to provide, and they've made certain clarifications on some of the things that are not so clear initially. They've made quite a lot of clarification. So if you're looking at applying for a dependent visa very soon, or you have a partner you're trying to bring into the UK, then you definitely want to check out some of the things I'll be sharing with you in this video. Now, some of the questions you're going to face when you start your application for a dependent visa. The first one is you're going to be asked if you have a marriage or civil partnership certificate. So the question basically is, can you provide a marriage or civil partnership certificate? So it's either a yes or a no. So if it is a no, there'll probably be some further questions that would be asked, just for you to prove that how come you're married and you don't have a marriage or civil partnership certificate to prove this. So the next question you're going to be asked is in relation to arranged marriage or civil partnership. They're going to ask you, was this an arranged marriage or civil partnership? So the truth is, there's no perfect answer for this particular question. If you put in a yes, if you put in a no, it has nothing to, it's not going to affect your visa application negatively. So basically, an arranged marriage is legal here in the United Kingdom. So arranged marriage does not necessarily mean it's a fake marriage. Arranged marriage just basically means that it's been arranged by either both parents or family members or friends and what have you. So it can be an arranged marriage and not be a fake marriage. So if you put in a no, it doesn't make any difference. Put in a yes, it is still a legal response when it comes to applying for a dependent visa in the UK. Now, that question that is being asked now for a dependent visa application is about the proxy marriage or proxy civil partnership. Just for them to be clear, the question is, was this a proxy marriage or proxy civil partnership? And that's just to make it clear for people, they put in the definition for what a proxy marriage means. So now, a proxy marriage or proxy civil partnership is when one or both partners are not present at the ceremony and are usually represented by another person. So that's the question. So you're going to ask if it's a proxy marriage or a proxy civil partnership. So basically, in the past, if you're applying for a dependent visa, you must or you're required to be present at your marriage ceremony, obviously. But in the new update, you're not necessarily required to be present at the wedding ceremony. So it's not important, or it's not so compulsory for you to have met your partner before you can apply for a civil marriage. So if you're probably living outside, or you're living in 2 different countries, and you're able to arrange a proxy marriage in your partner's country, this is legal, this is allowed. So if you put in a yes, it means that you're telling them that you are not present at your marriage, although you're married to this particular individual. But if you put in a no, there will also be some other questions that will be asked. So basically, if you put in a no, it means that you are there. If you put in a yes, it means that you're not there. So they're going to ask you some other further questions to get more information as regards your partnership with your dependent. So another question they will ask you is, have you been living together for the last 2 years? So it means, have you lived continuously together in the last 2 years? You can either put in a yes or a no. And also, if you put in a no, there will be a further question also being asked for you to further explain why you are in a relationship with this person, but you've not lived together in the last 2 years. Now, some documents they will ask you to provide just to show that you guys have lived together. If you put in a yes, includes, so do you have 2 documents in both your names to show you have lived together at the same address in the last 2 years? So if you put in a yes for that question, you need to provide some documents to prove that you've been living together. And they'll also specify some of the documents they want you to provide. So honestly, applying for a dependent visa in the UK is becoming more straightforward and well-explanatory, self-explanatory, to be honest. So some of the documents are required to provide to show that you've been living together for the last 2 years includes tenancy agreements or letter from your landlord. So if you are probably living in a particular apartment that you're not given a tenancy agreement, you can always get a letter from your landlord to show that you both have been living in the apartment and have been responsible for the financial obligation in that house. Another document you could provide is mortgage agreement, evidencing that both of you own that property, utility bills such as council tax, electricity, gas, or water, and bank statements and other bills, other official documents showing you both have lived in the same address. So you don't necessarily need to be 100% married to apply for a dependent visa now. If you're into a civil partnership and able to provide all of this evidence showing that you've been married for 2 years and all of this stuff, then you can also apply for a dependent visa. Now, if you decide to click on no as the answer to the question of have you lived continuously together for 2 years, they're going to ask you to give a reason why you have not lived together in the last 2 years. How come you're in a relationship with someone, someone is your partner, and you haven't lived together for 2 years? So you need to be able to provide an information to back up that reason why you've not been living together for the last 2 years. So you have maximum of 500 characters to fill in your reason. And guys, it must be convincing. If it's not convincing, there's high chances that your visa application might be rejected. And also, you need to provide evidence of why you've lived apart. So aside from explaining why you've lived apart with your partner for 2 years, you need to also provide evidence of why you've lived apart. So the question there is that, can you provide evidence of why you lived apart? For example, work contract or evidence that you were studying in a different location. So if there are different reasons, probably the reason you live apart with your partner is because of work or studies, you need to be able to provide a contract or a document to show that this is why you've been living in country A, while your partner is living in country B. If you probably studying, you need to provide evidence of your study in this different country when it comes to applying for the UK dependent visa. So there's also need for you to provide evidence of continuous relationship while living apart. So now, the documents you provided now is, you provided documents, or you provided reasons why you've not been living together. You've provided evidence of why you've not been living together. The next thing is now to provide evidence that you've been in that relationship despite the fact that you've not been living together. So basically, I'm going to ask you, can you provide evidence to show how you and your partner continued your relationship while living together? This might include birth certificates of your children, holiday bookings, your passport showing you have visited each other or traveled together. So you need to be able to provide this. So is that a yes or a no? If it's a yes, then that means you just need to attach all those documents to show that you probably air tickets or flight tickets to show that you visited each other at one point or the other, conference or bookings, just to show that you guys met at some point. It's just to show that you guys are still in a relationship despite living together. If you click on no as an answer to this question, then you need to also give a reason why you cannot provide this evidence. So how come you are in a relationship and you've never try to connect with each other, or show evidence, your charts with this person, your chart histories. Just ensure you provide as much document as possible answering this particular question. So these are some of the most important questions being asked. There are other questions that you'll be asked when it comes to applying for the UK dependent visa. So for people that have already applied before these changes were made, many of them will be getting emails to provide these documents as additional documents, in addition to what they provided already for their UK dependent visa. I hope you find this video useful. If you do, please click on the like button, and if you have any questions, please state in the comment section. I'll be responding to everyone as soon as possible. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video.